Hi, everybody, and welcome to SASoccerMag.com. I'm Kevin Ferguson, the Money Man, and I've got DJ with me. DJ, how you doing, bud?
Great, thank you.
We're going to run through 4 games for you tonight, or today, which are played over the next 3 days, yeah? We're at the interesting stage of this with the quarterfinal stage, I believe.
Yeah, last 8.
Last 8. Who would have thought it? We have the first game up is Fluminense versus Al Hilal. So we've got a Brazilian team versus a Saudi Arabian team, I take it. Fluminense come in after a convincing 2-0 win over Inter Milan. I never thought that. I knew it was going to be a low-scoring game, but I never thought that they'd beat Inter Milan.
I mean, Champions League finalists.
Yeah. You know, they've been unbeaten in their last 10 matches, Fluminense. Impressive.
Yeah.
You know, across all competitions. You know, Fluminense's defense has been incredibly resilient in the second half of matches and have not conceded a goal after halftime.
I think they've only conceded 2 in the entire tournament or something around there.
No, they're a solid team, eh? They were the 2023 Copa Libertadores champions.
Okay.
Can
impressive.
You believe it? Yes, well, it was impressive. Unless you weren't a Fluminense fan. So where are you thinking on this one? I mean, let's not take anything away from Al Hilal. They beat Man City.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thrilling game.
Came
from behind.
Extra time. I mean, we started this competition and said, watch out for the South American teams. You know, a Brazilian team's not a bad team. They live, breathe, and die soccer in that country. It's their religion. So who do you fancy here?
I think this is a tough one. I think Al Hilal have the star power. They have the bigger names. And after beating City the way they did, I think that was a big statement. Oof. But something about, like you said, the Brazilian teams, they've got that dog in them, and they
have that dog.
They have that dog in them. And I think that Al Hilal might struggle to play the same way they did against Fluminense. I think Fluminense will be quite disciplined. They've scored goals. They've conceded very few. I don't know. Something about this maybe a draw after, and then
do you know what I'm thinking?
What do you?
Of course you know. Of course you don't.
I have no idea.
I'll tell you what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that you play that game against Man City. You know, that to me is your club championship. You go in extra time. I think that takes so much out of a team like Al Hilal that they're ripe for being picked. I've got the score 1-0 Fluminense. I don't think there's going to be a lot of goals. I think it's going to be very niggly. But I do see Fluminense going through to the semifinals 1-0.
Okay.
What's the odds on Fluminense?
2.95.
2.95. Folks, it's not a banker. There's a 2.95.
But Al Hilal are 2.36, so
the wrong team's favorite as far as I'm concerned.
I think that Man City win really helped them become the favorites.
Is Mitrovic playing in this game?
I'm not actually sure. But I'm pretty sure Malcolm, who played well against Man City, he'll probably be playing. They've got some good players. Al Hilal, I think they have Jacques Cancelo, who used to play for Man City.
Yeah.
They have quite a few.
Al Hilal relies on pressing and high intensity. And I think the 4-3 game they've just come out of takes something out of that. Especially as we've got heat wherever they're playing, there'll be heat. That's why, you've got a well-organized Fluminense defense. And I just see it being 1-0, man. That's my prediction.
I think that's very possible.
What's your prediction?
I also think it's going to be tight. Maybe 1-1 after the 90 minutes, then in extra time.
What's the under 2.5 paying?
1.91 for under 2.5.
1.91 for under 2.5. That would be my bet.
Okay.
I'm going to put 2,500 on under 2.5 goals.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's move on to the next one, which is a cracker. Well, no, we're missing. To me, it's PSG versus Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
And what did I say at the beginning of the tournament? Take the 5-1 on PSG. How devastating did they look against Inter Milan or Inter Miami?
Yeah.
It looked like a training session for them, right?
Messi was helpless. He was trying his best.
He was trying his best.
He was.
God love him.
It's almost like when, I don't know, you're at school and you're playing a sport and the coach has to go to the team that's terrible and they suck.
Well, it's like that. It's like those 100 guys taking on the gorilla, right? That's what it would remind me of. Was it was just absolutely class. They never were stretched. It didn't look dangerous. I know that Inter Miami pressed towards the end and ruined my corner bet.
But like,
PSG coming off a commanding 4-0 win, and they've got attacking prowess, and I think Dembele's back for this game as well, who doesn't hurt. And Bayern Munich also have good attacking players, but they look vulnerable in defense. They've looked weak in defense sometimes, in this tournament.
I agree. I think Bayern obviously are an elite team and they could hurt PSG, but I think going on the balance of what we've seen over the past 6 months, even in this tournament, PSG are the more complete and stronger side overall. They'll want to control the game, and I think if they get a decent amount of possession, they'll start getting chances, ticking it away, and I don't think Bayern can really handle that for an entire game.
What score are you predicting?
I'll go 2-0 PSG.
I'm going to go 3-1 PSG.
Okay.
I think it'll be a lot of goals, but I do see PSG advancing.
And PSG at 2.13, I think it's too good to refuse.
It's too good to refuse. And then next up we have
Palmeiras versus Chelsea.
Don't we have Real Madrid versus Borussia?
That's the. Oh, it's the same day.
It's the same day.
Yeah.
You have to favor Chelsea?
I agree. I think it's similar to what I said last week, where Chelsea at 1.96. Chelsea against Palmeiras. Palmeiras were almost similar to Fluminense in that, South American, they got that grit. But I just think Chelsea, they've beaten Benfica 4-1. They found their gears. No disrespect to Palmeiras, but I think Chelsea, even if they just edge this at just under 2, I don't think you really have a choice here.
What do you bet? What do you say? I'm going to say
maybe 2-1 Chelsea.
2-1. I've got 2-1 Chelsea. I have 2-1. So we're in agreement on that. And then you have Borussia Dortmund versus Real Madrid. What do you think?
I think this is almost going to be a replay of the Champions League final from 2 years ago. Real Madrid just too good for Dortmund. I think Dortmund really, they are good enough to be at this point in the competition. I just think meeting someone like Real Madrid in the quarters, it's game over for them.
Well, Dortmund have 9 wins in the last 10 games.
Well, it's about to be 0-1.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, no. I don't see
But they've lost their last 4 matches against Real Madrid, right?
So I just think Real Madrid, too good, too much class, and they'll comfortably, maybe not scoreline, but comfortably beat Dortmund.
What are the odds on them?
1.58. So I'm probably going to stay away from that. But
yeah, I wouldn't. There's no value there.
Maybe goals though, or bookings.
Well, I see a high scoring game here.
Well,
what's the 2.5?
Over 2.5 is 1.49.
Yeah.
Over 3.5 is 2.21.
Nah.
4 goals is a bit too much.
Bit too much for my blood. I'm going to stay away from this game. I think it's going to be 3-2.
Okay.
Real Madrid.
I'm going to go maybe a 3-1, 2-0, 2-goal margin.
Yeah.
To Real Madrid.
Okay. Well, I respect you. So there you have it, folks. Take from it what you will. I do like PSG very much so. And I do like Fluminense. Yeah, that the wrong favorites. They've got the wrong favorites there. So 3-1 for PSG and 1-0 Fluminense. Take the under in that. I don't see many goals being scored there. Thanks for tuning in, and give that button a like or whatever you want to do with it. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Gav.